For it is that thou art the Lord our God and the God of our fathers, our King and the King of our fathers, our Saviour and the Saviour of our fathers, our Creator and the Rock of our salvation, our help and our believer. Thy name is forever.
No God beside thee. Those that were so examine your song to thy name and have the seashore. Together they praise thee, proclaim the kingdom, and the Lord shall reign forever and ever. Blessed be the Lord who saves us.
For it is that thou art the Lord our God and the God of our fathers, our King and the King of our fathers, our Saviour and the Saviour.
Intervene? No. At least not for the moment. I must confess that I'm fascinated by this man's power over the people. We must find out where this power comes from.
Well, we must admit he's capable of extraordinary things. They say he raised one of his friends from the tomb.
A clever trick before coming to Jerusalem.
Yes, but you must admit. Please, brothers, be advised. You must not act impetuously. Eliphaz, ask the captain of the temple guard to report to the high priest Caiaphas. Immediately.
Alms, give to the poor blind man. May the Lord give you happiness. God give you good health. Give to the blind.
Please.
I was born blind, for my parents sinned.
What can I give you?
Will you give?
Take this and pray for us.
May the Lord give you happiness. Help! I was born blind. Please, help for the poor blind man. Please.
You will not regret it, you fool. Stupid, he can heal you. Trust him.
Leave me alone! I didn't ask for anything!
Wonderful man. He does too well as a blind beggar.
If he could see, no one would give him anything.
Leave me alone! Don't touch me! Don't touch me, I say!
Master, that man was born blind. He's accepted his life the way it is. Why then change it? He lives in darkness. And as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world.
No, don't leave my eyes alone! I don't want you to touch them! No, don't touch my eyes! No! You are hurting me! They're burning! What have you done to them? What have you put on them?
Go and wash his eyes.
Come on, let's take him to the center. Come on. Wait, make way. This way. What's happening?
Come with us and see.
The master has cured the blind man. Can he see? He don't know yet. Give him a good wash. He hasn't touched water all his life. Throw him in. Give him a good wash.
I can see. I am not blind anymore. I can see you. And you. I can see. Brothers. Brothers. I'm not blind anymore. I can see everything. Now I know what it means to see.
It's a miracle, I tell you, it's a miracle.
I can see the world.
can see! Brothers! I can see all of you! All of you!
What do you think of that?
Make way! Make way there!
The high priest is coming!
Out of the way!
Get back!
What have you got to say? What have you got to say about the man who healed you?
He's a prophet. There is no doubt.
What are you saying? You got your sight back from God, not from that man. He's a sinner.
I don't know. I don't know whether he's a sinner or not. I only know one thing. I was blind. I was blind before. And now I can see. It's a miracle. I must go to this man. I must thank him for what he has done for me. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? What's happening? Cure the blind. Cured? Let me see. Where is it? Master. I can see. I can see.
Do you believe in the Son of Man?
Who is he, Master? That I may believe in him.
You're seeing him. It is he that is speaking to you.
I believe. Lord.
Make way there! Make way, the priest is coming! Out of the way, clear the way, the priest is here! Habakkuk is here!
This lying cheat was never blind.
What?
We of the temple know that he only pretended to be blind in order to earn his living.
He's right, he's a liar! I've known him a long time, he's never been blind!
And what's your story? That you can give sight to the blind?
I came into this world to give sight to those who cannot see. And to take away sight from those who can.
What do you mean by that? That we who are righteous are blind?
If you were blind, you would be without sin. But since you say we see, your sin remains.
That's true. This man wants through the devil! No! He's a cheat! A fanatic! Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees! Hypocrites all! For you shut up the kingdom of heaven against men! You do not go in yourselves, nor do you let others enter! Blind guides! You strain at a gnat and swallow a camel! You bow before the letter of the law and violate the heart of the law! Justice! Mercy! Good faith! You are like whited sepulchres, all clean and fair without, but within, full of dead men's bones and all corruption. You see these stones, do you not? I tell you, there will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down. Yours is a house of desolation, the home of the lizard and the spider. Serpents, brood of vipers, how can any of you escape damnation? You shall not see me here again, not until you learn to cry, "Blessed Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. For I and my Father are one and the same.
He is a blasphemer!
This is the man! White-head sepulchres!
You have forsaken the Lord, and now you despise the Holy One of Israel!
You don't speak for the people of Israel! Listen to the teachings of our God!
Remember the coming
He should be stoned to death! He's a blasphemer! Stone the blasphemer to death!
What on earth's going on? I don't like it. I'll take a look. Look up, you Stanley.
All right.
Gaspar.
I've seen him work miracles! I've seen him!
He's a righteous man, a righteous man! He has been sent by God!
Kill the Romans!
Put him to death! Arrest the blasphemer!
Come on! He's not the Messiah! He's a false prophet!
Stone him!
He's a friend of the Romans!
Kill him!
Stone him! Stone him! Stone him! Traitor! Traitor to Israel! Traitor! Traitor! Traitor!
Don't let them harm! Kill him! Kill him!
Kill the Romans!
He speaks the truth! Help him! Arrest him! Put him to death! Stone him to death! Stone the impostor!
Peter?
If you please, I've come to offer my help.
Master Nicodemus.
Yes, I must advise you. You are in danger. Please persuade your master to keep away from public places.
God must have sent you, Master Nicodemus. You speak to him. Of all people, he will listen to you. Come.
Master?
Rabbi, there is to be a meeting of the Sanhedrin. You have many enemies there, but also friends who know that you are a teacher come from God. For no man could show the signs or have the words that you impart unless God were with him. But yet, my heart is troubled and my mind confused. You must help me to see the truth.
Except a man be born again, Nicodemus, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
Born again? Can a man enter his mother's womb the second time?
That which is born of the flesh is flesh. That which is born of the Spirit is spirit.
Do not marvel that I said to you, you must be born again. The wind blows where it will. And you hear the sound of it. But you don't know whence it comes or whither it goes. So it is with everyone who is born of the Spirit.
God so loved the world that he sent his own Son, that whosoever believed in him should not perish, but have eternal life. God sent his Son into the world not to condemn it, but that the world may be saved through him.
Came to Jerusalem. The crowd went wild on his arrival, and we did nothing. No. He then drove the merchants and the sellers of beasts for sacrifices from the courtyard of the temple, and we did not intervene.
How many times have we protested at the disgrace of money changers being allowed in the precincts of the temple?
But then we allowed him to preach in the holy temple itself, and at no time did he recognize your authority, Caiaphas, nor made submission to the elders of Israel.
Denounce him in the name of the people of Israel.
I'm not sure that we have that right. Can we honestly say that we represent the true thoughts and aspirations of the people of Israel?
What are you saying?
I've often wondered if, as elders, we're not too cut off from them and from their real problems. How can we guide them if we don't know what's in their hearts?
But without our guidance, they would be lost. People will run after any new thing. That's why they've taken up with this man Jesus with his tricks and exaggerated promises.
I have seen him. I've heard him preach. His words reach into men's hearts, not like ours. It's not the old ritual, the old formulas, but a new vision which seems to answer all their hopes. A message of comfort, of goodness, of purity, of the virtues of humility.
We've heard it all before, from John the Baptist and hundreds of others.
And why not? That is the richness of our religion, that it's always being kept alive by new ideas.
Oh, that kind of thinking encourages false prophet.
What an incredible people we are. Thirsty for knowledge, but hypocrites afraid of change. We say that we want new ideas so our religion will speak to each generation. And yet, when a prophet appears, burning with faith and fiery revelations, we stifle him. Shall we go down to history as a people who destroys its prophets?
No, please, no, brothers, please. Look, this is scarcely the time for philosophical discussions. There are more urgent problems to be considered.
He allows those who follow him to hail him as the Messiah.
He's a blasphemer! He's an imposter!
With respect to those more learned than I, there is one possibility that it seems no one here is ready to consider.
What is it?
The possibility that Jesus of Nazareth may be, in fact, the Messiah awaited by our people.
A carpenter from Galilee.
This man has studied the prophecies, and carefully and subtly he never misses a chance to identify himself with them.
Exactly.
I only know that, like our brother Joseph, I've heard him preach. I was moved, lifted out of myself, and seemed to see all things in a new and blinding light. I was aware of wonders, signs that God may be with him, and through him, with us.
Do you realize what you are saying, Master Nicodemus?
Let him speak.
Listen to him. Let him speak. Don't shout him down.
The coming of the Messiah is the heart of our faith. Why should he not come now? Why do we dream our liberator will be revealed in glory, a new Solomon, new David? Is God not allowed to choose whom he wishes? Even the son of a poor carpenter from Nazareth? But David began life as a shepherd. Who are we to decide the way in which God should choose to help his people? We, grains of sand, chaff blown in the wind. May the Lord open our eyes to his wisdom.
Master Nicodemus, I have always respected you. How am I to understand your defense of this man, whose mission seems to be to divide our people? Even this noble assembly has been torn asunder by him. This Jesus of Nazareth must be an extraordinary man. But is there not one among you who understands the real significance of this matter?
It is not the Galileans' words that are important, or the so-called miracles. Even the fact that frenzied crowds hail him as the Messiah, it's not important. The central core of this case is that this man dares to proclaim, and I can hardly make myself say it, this man dares to proclaim himself the Son of God.
Master Nicodemus, in your great faith and wisdom, and you, Joseph, most honest of men, can you tell us that in your heart of hearts, you believe he is the Son of God, that he is equal to God? If he is not the Son of God, then who is this Jesus of Nazareth? Is he a prophet? Only a false prophet can assume the powers of God and say to a persistent sinner, you are forgiven. Only God can forgive sins. All through our history, false prophets have been the plague of Israel. This man, while claiming to uphold the law, perverts our most fundamental beliefs.
The Romans will not wait for us to find the answer. Our law says the prophet who claims to say in the name of God things which God has not commanded, that prophet must die. If this man Jesus is a false prophet and a blasphemer, is it not better for one man to die than for a whole nation to perish?
However, under Roman occupation, Caiaphas, the people of Israel may put a goat to death, but not a man.
Thank you, Zira, for reminding us of our realities.
Then he must be charged and found guilty by the Romans.
But Caiaphas, we have not found him guilty yet. Surely our law does not condemn a man before first giving him a hearing before the elders of Israel?
No matter how serious his offense, we cannot simply hand over one of our brothers to the Romans.
Caiaphas, after the Passover, let me persuade Jesus to come to us and explain to us what is in his heart and his mind when he says he is the Son of God.
Brethren, I agree. We will question him fully and give this Jesus of Nazareth every opportunity to defend himself.
No! Caiaphas, to delay would be too dangerous. We all know what steps Pilate would take against our people if the unrest continues. Zara, he must be taken tonight.
It could cause even more trouble among the crowds if our temple guards go searching for him.
It could mean a long search all over the city.
No one knows where he and his followers are hiding. They stay no longer than one night in the same place.
I think I know the way to reach him.
Jerry, don't forget, Jesus of Nazareth is one of our brothers.
Judas? I've not been able to find you. You weren't seen with the master for the last day or two. Where have you been?
I've been trying to think. Trying to decide what to do.
You seem to me to be very sure of what to do.
Oh, I was. But I'm not now. Confused. I always believed action, political action, could solve everything. I thought it was enough to think clearly and act clearly, but I fear my master does not agree with me. He doesn't need my ideas. He says the heart is more important. Perhaps he's right. Have I hardened my heart? Am I fit to be one of his disciples? I should go home.
Judas, don't lie to yourself. The truth is that in your heart, you no longer believe that Jesus of Nazareth is the Messiah. There's only one way to know the truth. You knew that the very first time that you came to see me. Let Jesus prove himself before the Sanhedrin.
It's too late. He won't accept it.
Why? There are many influential members of the council who admire Jesus. He will be fairly judged. If he is the Messiah, God will not abandon him. If he is not, then you will have helped to save Israel from yet another false prophet.